Episode 1. The Journey of Sakuragi Hanamichi, a delinquent and a gang leader who's been rejected by 50 girls in middle school and now joins Shohoku High School with new hope. But his heart has long been frozen, even if the world around is in spring. One thing he hates is basketball because of his past experiences with girls liking basketball players. Although on the first day of school, a girl, Haruko Akagi, calls him out asking if he likes basketball, and therefore his opinion about the game is turned upside down. Just like that, huh? After a bit of warm-up and a brawl with the seniors, Sakuragi heads with her to the gymnasium. Unsurprisingly, the man is quite ignorant about the sport, so he does the one move Haruko teaches him, the slam dunk. He bumps his head on the hoop. Though she's impressed with his physical abilities, he finally feels as if spring has come for him. But that feeling soon is ruined when he learns that she likes a star basketball player, Rukawa Kaede. The next day, he's called out by a few seniors to the roof, but to his surprise when he gets there, they all have already been beaten up by none other than Rukawa. Episode 2. After learning that he's the guy Haruko likes, Sakuragi loses his cool and gets into an argument with him, a guy with a similar build. The girl witnesses the two arguing from across and rushes in fear that Sakuragi might spill the beans in front of Rukawa. But the argument between them gets only worse and turns into a bloody brawl. Although it ends after they are separated, but Haruko ends up telling the delinquent that she hates him. His spring ends abruptly, but the one who clears up her misunderstanding is a member of Sakuragi's gang, Mito. Hence, she decides to apologize to him after school. But before she can, he gets into an argument with the gorilla captain of the basketball team, Takenori Akagi, and the argument ends with two facing each other in a one-on-one basketball match. The match gathers quite the audience along with Haruko and Rukawa. Episode 3. The rules are simple. If Sakuragi manages to steal and score one basket before the captain makes 10, he wins. Although even with the odds stacked against him, Akagi manages to overwhelm him with his skills and physical abilities. Mito tries to tell a tense Haruko not to worry, but she tells him that the captain is his big brother. The only thing Sakuragi manages to accomplish is pulling down the captain's pants due to his poor awareness. Although Akagi is quite impressed by his stamina and innate ability to block, as he manages to steal the ball from the captain once. The delinquent charges towards the man who has aimed for basketball nationals all his life and dunked the ball from Akagi's right hand into the hoop. Overjoyed, he runs to Haruko stating that he has won the bout, but learns that the captain is her brother. Episode 4. Next day, the members of the basketball club discover that Sakuragi has broken into the club room and stolen a uniform for himself in order to show Rukawa his place. He, the basketball genius, will join the club. Although the captain laughs at him because of such an obvious difference between the two in terms of skills, and thus he doesn't allow the brazen brat to join the team. Sakuragi begins his efforts to impress Akagi, and after witnessing him stay overnight to clean the balls and the gymnasium floor, he acknowledges his guts. Therefore, he joins the team, along with another first year, the cool-headed Rukawa. The captain reiterates his goal to become national champions as a team, and the practice begins. Although Sakuragi isn't allowed to practice with the rest, as he's a beginner, thus he begins his practice to master the basics with the erratic manager, Ayako. He spends the first day dribbling, and the sound of the balls hitting the floor even keeps him awake at night. Episode 5. A week passes. Mito and the rest head to the gymnasium to check on Sakuragi's progress, but to no one's surprise, he's still dribbling. Although he has improved a lot and is even able to shift the balls at an immaculate pace between his hands. But the captain still doesn't let him join the practice and orders him to return to dribbling. The frustration gets to his head and he gets to a fight with Akagi. Thus, in his moment of anger, he quits the basketball club. The captains call him gutless as he walks away. Later, he heads to a restaurant with Mito and the rest. But the feeling of basketball and Haruko motivating him to join the team doesn't leave his head. In the end, he's unable to stop himself and he runs back to the gymnasium by the evening. Impressed by his guts, the captain allows him move on to practice passing, and an overly enthusiastic Sakuragi starts once again. Episode 6. With two promising first years, the team's vice captain, Kogure, thinks that this year, they might finally be able to become the national champions. And with the team in high spirit, Coach Anzai joins the team announcing that he has arranged a practice match with Ryonan High. Although the coach used to be an all-star player, he was called the White-Haired Devil. But he has mellowed down since and is referred to as White-Haired Buddha nowadays. To decide on a lineup, he orders a match between the freshmen and the upper class, but Sakuragi isn't allowed to participate. Thus, the face-off between Akagi's team and Rukawa begins. Rukawa manages to overwhelm all the upper-class men, but there's one man he's unable to get the ball past. That is, the captain. With his strong build, he slaps the ball to the ground every time Rukawa shoots. Even Sakuragi is impressed by the captain's resilience, although the superstar freshman is not one who runs away from a challenge. Episode 7. The fire in Rukawa's heart forces him to fight with everything he has within him. He manages to get 2 free shots and score a slam dunk right in front of Sakuragi, who was trying to divert his attention into making a mistake. Everyone is left in awe at his performance. Even the egotistical delinquent is fascinated at his play. He's the real deal. The words resonate within the heart of every player on the court, but Sakuragi can't let Rukawa steal all the thunder and Haruko. Thus he urges the captain to let him play, and after permission from the coach, he makes his debut in a match. With just 2 minutes of play left, he runs towards the hoop alone. In order to show that Rukawa isn't the only competent first year, he jumps meters away from the hoop and positions himself to dunk the ball. Akagi jumps to block him, but to everybody's surprise, Sakuragi dumps the ball right on the captain's head, knocking him flat on the court. Anzai deduces that if Rukawa is the new ace and the delinquent is the new rookie, that is a fish to liven up the pool. Episode 8. The next day, the delinquent is late to school because of the rain, and on his way there, he's stopped by 3 upperclassmen who force him to come together with them and meet a certain individual. Meanwhile, at school, Akagi is getting praised from all his classmates for being a model student and having absolute confidence in his team's abilities to become the national champions. Although there's one man who thinks otherwise, another third year and captain of the judo club, Tatsuhiko Aota, not only a childhood friend of Akagi and Haruko, but also his rival. He brags that the judo club will soon recruit a freshman, a talent that comes one every 100 years, Sakuragi. The captain tells him that he's already a part of the basketball team, but he isn't ready to give up. And after bribing the delinquent with a bunch of Haruko's pictures, he almost has the delinquent in his grasp. Akagi and Koruge watch from the sidelines, observing what he'll choose. Episode 9. And Sakuragi rejects his offer to join the judo club. Although he does want Haruko's pictures, frustrated, Aota tells him about his past with Akagi, how the gorilla has gotten to make him feel bad for choosing judo, and has always overshown him in everything. Although Sakuragi shares the same sentiment about Akagi, but he firmly expresses that he doesn't want to join the judo club, and he'll take Haruko's picture with his own strength. Therefore, the two engage into hand-to-hand combat, although the captain of the judo club utilizes his skills and slams the delinquent onto the ground. But he gets up and manages to overpower him after some effort. But Iota resiliently asks him to join the club, and Sakuragi emphasizes that he's sticking with basketball because he's a basketball player, something that surprises Akagi. Episode 10. The next day, the delinquent is surprised when the captain is overly enthusiastic about practice, and so much so that he suggests to Anzai that Sakuragi be allowed to practice how to shoot. He can't believe it. The captain finally realizes how big a genius he is, and finally he'll be able to do his signature slam dunk. Although the reality is quite different, the captain asks Rukawa to demonstrate a simple and elegant layup shot, but he only wants to do a slam dunk. Thus the two get into an argument, and after a bit of lecturing, he tries the layup shot and manages to embarrass himself when he's unable to put the ball through the hoop. He even picks a fight with Rukawa due to his jealousy. The two end up getting yelled at and are banned from practicing for the day by Akagi. The next morning, alone in a park, Sakuragi practices his layup, and there he encounters Haruko, who offers to help him with the practice. Episode 11. She demonstrates a layup, the only move she has been good at since middle school, impressing him. After a few tries, he begins to figure out his impressive jumping abilities, and with a bit of an assist from his crush, he manages to make one in. The two are overjoyed, thus he manages to achieve his first simple shot. Later that day, the captain lets everyone know that the practice match with Ryonan is just a week away, but everyone is frightened since they were in the best four last inter-high. This only pumps Sakuragi more, and he stays for practice alone in the gymnasium, even after everyone has left. But while he's practicing, a player from Ryonan named Hikoichi comes to investigate Shohoku. He witnesses Sakuragi jump tremendously high in the air and thinks that he is Rukawa because of his impressive jumping power. Episode 12. This pisses him off, and he smacks the freshman spy from Ryonan for confusing him with a middle school level player like Rukawa, and continues bragging, saying that he's the next captain because he has beaten Captain Akagi, a player who stopped Ryonan's captain Uozumi. Hikoichi is truly impressed hearing this and admires the delinquent even more after realizing that he isn't even wearing basketball shoes, making him realize the fact that he never had them in the first place. The two bid farewell and good luck to each other for the practice match, although Hikoichi states that even Sakuragi doesn't stand a chance against Ryonan's ace Sendo. With just one day to go before the decisive match, the practice intensifies. They practice till late night, although Akagi asks Sakuragi to stay, making the delinquent wonder if he did anything wrong. But the captain offers to teach him rebound, because he who controls the rebounds controls the game. This phrase alone is enough to get him interested, thus he begins his training with the captain. And the next morning, Shohoku leaves for Ryonan High to face their first real competition this year on their road to national champions. The end for now. What awaits Sakuragi in his journey to become a great basketball player? Will he succeed? Let's find out together.